It's week 2 of 2024. I am doing a craft project every week and sharing a video with you. Last week we made this really pretty compartment organizer for my craft room. I showed you how to make it. I have an SVG file, or I showed you how to cut all the pieces by hand yourself if you want to check that out. But today we're going to make a shaker card. We're going to make a Valentine shaker card. It's going to be pink mushrooms and all kinds of good stuff mixed in with a lot of dies and some stamps from Elizabeth Craft Designs, namely, and I will name everything as we go through, but the mushrooms and ferns and my large doily and my layered labels and some of my stamps also from the layered label stamp set and so forth, and some brand new flowers, which I'll talk about. So what is a shaker card anyway? Shaker cards have been around for a very long time, but they just don't seem to go away. You know, they're just so great and they're so fun. It's usually a clear layer of acetate with a little bit of a depth where you can put in some little shaker bits and make cute little things like this. This one was made by Anita Eisendorn with Elizabeth Craft Designs. She used the mushroom like I'm going to use and made this cute little shaker using a die from Yosette that I'll show you. We made this little shaker ornament on the creative cruise I was just on in November where I taught classes. This was our little make and take, so that's fun. It's got sequins in there and glitter and all kinds of cute bits. Both of those were made with a die from Josette Vandenberg with Elizabeth Craft Designs, and it's called Shakers, and it's this big huge set here where you get the pieces and parts to make the shaker. You can do a square, you can do the circle like I did. It even has all the little bits. So this is a really great die. I'm not going to end up using it today. I'll show you some alternatives if you don't have that die. So like I said, my idea just came to me that I wanted to make a mushroom Valentine card. And what spawned that idea was from my good friend Dana in Texas sent me a beautiful little cute birthday gift. Total surprise to me. Dana has made me these wonderful themed daubers every year since I've known her. I have, oh, I don't know how many. I'm looking over there. I've got so many, and I might grab them in a little bit and show you all of them. I've shown them on a video before. But this one is a mushroom, and isn't that so cute? I just have these lined up on my shelf. I don't actually use them because they're just too cute. And then she sent me some shaker bits. These are from Picket Fence Studios, and they're little mushrooms, little brown bits and stuff. Cute. And then this really fun mushroom messages stamp set from Dare to Be Artsy stamps. I'm just going to use one of the phrases, but this is really cute too. Oh my gosh, I was dropping them. I have so many already. Look at all these. Look at how cute. I'm going to show you really quick. In no particular order. I don't know. Let's see. This one was 2019. So cute. She just takes like a wooden like dowel cap, it looks like, on most of these, and or a finial or something, and look at, she just makes them so pretty. So this was 2019, and let's see if there's another, like, I think she puts the years on most of these. I thought I saw 2020. Here's 2020. She always kind of sneaks a bee in there for me. This one is all decoupage so beautifully, and you can see it's like a candlestick kind of thing, but it's wood and it's a great little handle. Okay, now in no particular order is this one here, another collage-y kind of decoupaged one, a little bit of like coppery trim there, and the theme for, oh, there it is, 2021. The theme for that particular retreat that Dana came to was like goats and stuff. And then look at this one. This might be my favorite just because it's like, you know, it's a honeycomb thingy and a bee, and I'm all about the bees. One year she made a snowman one. So cute, his little hat. And then this bee one. And again, collaged with, it looks like, I don't know if those are rub-ons or just collaged papers. But so pretty. So thank you, Dana. You're always so good to me, and you're just so talented. On with the show. So I wanted to show you a couple of things that you might find fun and alternative ideas if you don't have like a specific shaker die set or any of those dome kind of things that you can go out and buy. You can really make a shaker card very easily, possibly with things you already have on hand, or if you have a Cricut machine or a Silhouette. So instead of using the die that I talked about earlier, I did try, and I noticed that this circle was a little bit too big for what I needed. My idea is to, here's my card base here, there's some brown paper there. I want to put this here somewhat and this here. But I cut out my doily, and I want that to be sort of my look-through piece. But of course I can't really I could make this into a shaker, but that's a lot of doily cutting, and you really don't have to do that. So all I did here is I cut it once out of pretty paper, and it was a little flimsy, so I cut another out of cardstock and just glued those together, so this layer is nice and strong. Then I went to my dies and I looked for some circles. And I have this one, also from Yosette, the Stitched Circles. It's number 1116. There are nested circle dies also with ECD. These have stitches and little dots and stuff. It doesn't matter. You're not going to see it. But I will grab the ones I did. Okay, and there's my little stack. And the dies that I used were those stitched circles. And so I just kind of sized behind my doily here. And this is my doily, large doily set. Also with Elizabeth Crafts. So you see it's the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, so 4 and 5 up from the middle sizes. And I taped them together nice and close with some removable tape, and then I just die cut all these circles so they're all the same size. And what's cool here, if you were going to have this show, is that you have that little stitch line there. And the other cool thing is all the stuff you cut away because of that inset circle right there. Now you have all these cute circles with the stitched little dots around the outside edge. So gosh, save those for something else for sure. So I have to glue all these together because we're making like a little raised wall, let's say, so we can fit our little shaker bits in there and then put some clear acetate over that, which I need to cut yet, and then we can put this over the top of that. Now, one thing I did notice when I was testing this out, and I lay this right over my circles, is all these little openings in my doily, these little cutaway kind of star flowery kind of shapes right there. You see through those, and my circle underneath is sort of halfway in there in those openings. So to fix that, I think what I want to do is grab some scrap over here, and I'm going to use like a 1/2 inch circle punch. And how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to punch 12, and I'm going to glue those from the back side so that pink is showing. I'm going to glue those right over those openings, and that way when we turn it around, we'll see a little bit darker pink showing through like that, and that sort of camouflages our circle that's back there. And I will mention that if you're going to die cut your acetate, you don't use both of those circles, you just use the bigger one because you don't want the middle cut away. You want the full piece, just like so, not the ring, okay? And you'll see that while I'm doing my little circles on here, I am putting the glue, of course, on the back of the doily and not onto the circle because there's that opening and we don't want glue going in there. So I'm just kind of going lightly around the edge and popping these on here. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these up, and we'll come back and start putting this together. I'll show you my idea for my mushrooms. Okay, cute. Looks cute, right? By the way, this particular paper that I cut this doily out of is from the brand new Garden Party from Elizabeth Craft Designs, designed by Angelica Turner. Beautiful, beautiful paper. I can show you that in a little bit. But you might notice all this other pink and brown and stripes and stuff. This is just from one of those little 6x6 pads from my local Hobby Lobby store. However, I didn't actually get it at Hobby Lobby. I'm looking for the cover sheet so I can see what it's called. Hold on. Oh, there it is right there. Vintage Valentine for $6.99 at my local Hobby Lobby. I got it at Greenville's Recraft Center for like $3 or something. There was a few sheets missing, but most of it was there, and I just felt like it was really cute and a great little way to use up smaller papers. Real quick, here's that Garden Party. Of course, I've cut all into it. I've been making all kinds of things with it. It's just really a hot mess right here, but lots and lots of pieces. But it's really beautiful. beautiful florals and then a really lovely pattern on the backs of these. This is where I cut the doily from. It's a lot of pinks and slight green. I love to fussy cut some of these. It's really pretty paper. Els with Elizabeth Craft Designs did a live not long ago, and she showed every piece and she showed all these beautiful samples. So if you are inclined to do so, you can hop over to their YouTube channel. Again, it's called Garden Party, and you can check out that particular live just looking at their saved videos. You can do it in Facebook as well. It's in both places and it's always saved. Garden Party, beautiful. And I don't think I mentioned it, but I die cut 8 of these circles. You can do more. I feel like 8's going to do the job. That seems to be my number. If you feel like you need more, you can always add more. It always depends on the thickness of your cardstock. And when you're building these up like this, just make sure that very first 2 that you stick together, they're right on the money. Don't rush it, because as you go, if you're off at the beginning, then you're really going to be off by the end. And no, it doesn't show, but it will show from the side a little bit, because you are building up a wall about maybe a little less than 1/8 of an inch high. So if it's all out of kilter and people are really examining your card, they may see that. All right, I'm going to continue on, get these all glued together. Okay, now I've got that all set, and I am putting some double-sided adhesive tape on the top. I'm not going to do the acetate yet. I'm just going to get this ready. But I am using Elizabeth Craft Designs double-sided adhesive, and you saw I made a little slit so that I could turn the piece, and anything hanging off, I'm just going to clip. I'll do that again because I did that kind of fast. So you cut a piece that's longer than what you really need. You could cut a bunch of little pieces, I guess. But instead, I just cut one longer piece and I make a little slit, and then that way you have kind of a hinge where you can swing that around and rotate it so that it kind of follows the arc of your circle. So I'll finish doing that. Alrighty, so I'm going to set that aside. I don't want to do that just yet. And I got all these little mushroom pieces, and of course these mushrooms are from my Mushrooms and Ferns die set. I am also going to use the ferns, and we're also going to work with my layered labels, and I mentioned the large doilies and also the lace borders. Okay, so what I've done here is I've cut out from that same paper collection the bits and the pieces for the mushrooms. Mostly the bases are cut out of like a brown wood with a little bit of a cute polka dot. And then the caps are cut from some of those darker pink printed papers. And I don't care how many times I put together these mushrooms, I just love them. They are just the cutest, aren't they? And aren't they cute and pink? I mean, probably no pink mushrooms out there. Unless maybe if you're really into mushrooms, you see them that way. So there are many ways you can use these mushrooms all year long. And I mean, I've got so many examples, of course. So I'll pop up just a few as I'm talking here. I'm going to get my card ready. This is a, what size? What size is my card? I think it's a 5.5 by 5.5. Yes. And I always check my envelope punch board we are memory keepers to make sure I can make an envelope that size before I ever start. And I think I was going to go with a tent card, but because I think this is going to be a little heavy, I think I'm going to do a side opening card. So this is just some kind of medium brown cardstock here, cut a little smaller than the card, so it's probably 5.25 by 5.25. Sometimes if you make tent cards and they have a lot of layers on them, people try to stand them up and tent them and they just fall. They split. They do the splits. So I just have to remember not to keep turning it that way. Then I'm going to put this pretty paper and this one, but before I do that, I'm going to ink them slightly. I'm going to tape them together from the back because I want to add my little lace border, and I want to trim it before I get it on there. And so that's just a little bit of clear, like Scotch tape on the back. They're just butted right together. So I want to put this is that lace border that I have selected. It's probably my favorite. And I just want to decide where it's going to kind of get cut off here, kind of even on both sides. So right about there, I can make a little snip. So I don't waste a bunch of glue on stuff I know is going to get cut off later. And we'll just get this on here. I'm going to put it right where they butt together and give it a little hold. I'm using the Barely Art glue today, so it takes just a little bit longer to grab and stick. I'm going to trim that in a minute, but I'll just let that dry a little bit longer, and I will work on the inside of my card. When you make cards, do you decorate the inside? Do you just put a piece of just plain white in there? You know, I find like I have such excess of scrapbooking paper that I don't mind dressing up the inside of the card almost as much as the outside. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this larger mat first, and then this kind of off-white color, and then I'm going to add a fern. So if I'm going to add a fern, I think I want to do that first because I want to cut it off. I don't want it to go all the way off onto the brown. So I have this fern here, again from the Mushrooms and Ferns. It's a little tedious to glue, but it's so pretty. I just want to use it. So I could put it down there. I could put it over here. I think I want to put it here. Okay. You do have to move a little quickly when you're gluing this guy down. There's just so many delicate little areas, and you know, sometimes you miss a little spot, but it just needs a little dot. It doesn't need much to get that all down there. Okay, to stamp the inside, we're still working on the inside. We're getting back to the front in just a bit. I did grab my Misty. Gonna put this in here. And I have the stamp sets, like I mentioned earlier, the layered labels. All these great, oh, can you even see that? Layered labels. Is that any better? Yeah. So we have all these little decorative, like divider thingies. So I'm going to use that. And then I grab my All Occasion Greetings stamp set. And I'm going to grab I Love You for the inside. Okay, so first I'm going to do this one. Actually, I think I'm going to do I Love You first. Okay, so for the words, I'm going to stamp in Acorn, which is a VersaFine Clair Pretty Brown. Oops. Give that a light little tap because those are skinny little letters. Okay, and then we'll take this one, which is really fancy, and we can look right through it. And we'll do this one with the VersaFine Clair Glamorous, which is like a hot pink. Really pretty. Okay. Beautiful. And I have plenty of room for my little message in there. Okay, that's on the inside of the card. Here we are back to the front. We'll trim this off here. And we can get this down next. Just kind of ink that one more time. Okay, looks good already. Before we go any further though, I want to grab the layered labels dies and a stamp set that kind of nests and fits that one particular die. I want to stamp from that cute stamp set from Dana. I am going to use, see how these are nested? I am going to use the larger one. I think that's how I've determined that phrase is best going to fit with the stitched stamp lines in there. I'm just kind of checking it and making sure it's just going to fit nicely, okay? Because we could go down to the smaller size in both of those, the stamp and the die, but it's just a little too small. And I don't know about you, it just depends on the situation, but usually I'm a die cut then stamp person, especially if you have a stamp platform like the Misty, like I do. If I didn't, I would definitely do it the other way around, because it might be easier if you don't have a platform to stamp first and then line your die up around the stamp to die cut it. Okay, so we're going to put that in the Misty. It took me a long time to finally get a Misty. I was way behind. I'm always way behind, believe it or not, when it comes to gadgets, because I don't like to just jump on the bandwagon right away without seeing how it's been doing for about a year or so. And look at that. Perfect. So now I'm to the point where I don't know how I could live without my Misty, because I just rely on it so much. Okay, and I'm going to leave that there to stamp my sentiment. And I'm picking There's So Mushroom. There's so mushroom. Get it? So much room in my heart for you. Brand new. Okay. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, that's really cute. However, you know, there's a lot of blank area here, and that is kind of bothering me. So I want to get some more of that division kind of fancy stamping in there. And if you just picked up the stamp and looked at it, it has both the top and the bottom little decorative thing hooked together on one stamp. I don't know if this will make you cringe or not, but sometimes I just cut my stamps clean in half like that. And that way, when I go to put them back together and I want to use them together, it just had one clean cut. But now I can use them separately if I want to. So I am going to use the Misty again. I just feel much more confident. And I'm back to that bright pink color. Glamorous. Of course, everything I'm using I will link below. Oh, so cute. All right, okay, now comes the fun part. We're going to get our shaker put together here, and I'm just taking a moment to plan it out because I don't want things to hang off of the card too much. It still has to go into an envelope. So I think right about there. So I'll grab, just real quick, a pencil or something. Yep, that'll work. Okay, give that a second to dry. We can put our filler bits in there. And so I've grabbed a bunch of different things I have here. Of course, I'm going to use some from Dana here, these cute mushroom ones. I have some from Close to My Heart. I've had these for, gosh, a couple years now, I do believe. The mini hearts, different colors of pink, and they're teeny tiny, and I believe they're like just made of foam. And then I do have 2 packs of these Buttons Galore and More sparklets that I got from scrapbook.com. So I may add some of those in there just for a little bit of shimmer. But I think that's set pretty good. Okay, we'll start dumping some things in there. Grab my little spoon if I need it. Normally I would dump those into a container so that I could spoon them out rather than dump them, but I haven't even opened them yet, so that's okay. So isn't this cute? Like there's little bits of brown in there too, like nature, like tree twigs, which goes perfectly with my card having that brown ring around the edge there, or border. All right, we'll throw a little of those in there. All right, I peeled off my double-sided tape, and I'm going to put down my acetate circle. Give that a good press. Okay, give it a check. Perfect. It's so sweet. That's perfect. Just like before, I'm going to use double-sided tape on the outside edge here to get this on here because I just don't trust glue. But I'm going to grab the 3mm in the double-sided adhesive. It's a little skinnier, and I'm just going to cut some little pieces and not deal with the whole, you know, cutting that slit thing. So this will take a little more time. But the reason why I'm using the skinnier stuff this time is because I know that I'm going to see just a little bit of that pink and the acetate, just a tiny bit. And I don't want like extra adhesive to be there and make it tacky from the front of the card, touching the card, or even sliding into the envelope. So I'm going to go with a little skinnier, and I'm going to keep it toward that inside edge rather than right out to the outside like before. Okay, I've got all the tape on there. I've peeled it up. I'm ready to go. I'm going to have to pull this in front of me a little bit here. And that looks good. Okay. Cool. Just press that down really well so that tape really grabs it. So cute, so fun. I love shaker cards, don't you? Now we can start building the rest of this. And so I have this red fern over here, and I went ahead and put a layer of foam tape on the back of my stamped label here. And I think I'm going to sneak this under here because we have this blank space in the label that I don't mind if that's just a little bit covered up. I think I'll do like that. So this is going to go right about there, and it's going to overlap onto my doily. And then I've got my two big mushrooms that will come next. So I do want to put down my fern first, and I'm not going to put any adhesive over here on this side just yet. I'm just going to do down the center and all these on this one side. I just put little dots of glue. I don't put a ton. And then, you know, I could kind of tack these down if I want. And because my mushrooms are coming next, I think I do. I'm going to tack these down just a little under here. Is that straight? Looks pretty straight. And my mushrooms, I think I want to have just kind of coming from behind here. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm going to put some foam tape behind those just so everything is kind of popping up the same level, and because we don't want this on a little tilt like that. This one's okay. I might put a little foam tape at the base back here at the bottom. Okay, so I just put some little pieces down the stem, the stalk, whatever you call that part of the mushroom. And that guy will go there. And again, I could put a little glue here. Not super necessary, but I will. And then this little guy is going to go right there. So we'll just do the glue now. And we have our little foam tape down there. Yeah, I'll hit some over there too. Okay, this one will come in front. So cute. Okay, and then we have these guys and these guys. Okay. I decided I had this little darker pink one. The one I had before was this lighter one, but I have this darker pink one. And I'm sticking it there, and then I am going to use two. I'm going to use this one. Okay, and then we've got this little guy. I just have partially covered with some foam tape, not double-sided tape, foam tape. And I just want to make sure the glue hits those spots. Okay, I'm sitting here wondering, am I done? And I feel like something needs to happen up here. And, you know, I don't want to fill out the whole thing, but I do feel like it needs something to just kind of break up that open space right there. Don't you agree? So I went to my dies and I was looking for maybe a heart or something. Now it would be best if it was something that had a little bit of an opening to it, a cutaway, let's say, because initially I grabbed these conversation hearts. They're called Candy Hearts by Lawn Fawn. I love these. They're so cute. But they're solid. You know, you're not going to see through. So I don't think I'll use those. And then I grabbed Planner Essentials number 8 from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and it has this great heart, but it is rather large. So that one's out. Then I grabbed this one, Planner Essentials 57, the heart overlay, because of those lips. Those lips are so cute. That would be really cute, but I'm not sure who this is going to exactly yet. So I don't know if I want to put lips on there. I have used this on stuff for Paul. I love those lips. They're so fun. So I did settle on a brand new flower die set from Elizabeth Craft Designs, of course. Wildflower number 1. These are brand new, and if I can link below, I will. They may not be on the Elizabeth Craft Designs website yet. If you don't see a link, that means they aren't yet, and when they are, I will come back and update that link. Right here. Maybe that one, and a couple of leaves. And just don't overdo it too much, but make some sort of cute, small little flower arrangement up there. Okay, and if you are short on time, I am kind of today, so you can use just cardstock for your flowers, and I'm going to use some of that pink pattern paper for the leaves, just because nothing's for real here. Red ferns and pink mushrooms. I have my Sizzix tool set here, and the cushion, and I'm facing down my flower using a large ball stylus to soften up the paper and really cup that flower. I'll switch to a little smaller ball stylus and just push in the center. Okay, there's one. We'll do the smaller one with just the small ball stylus. Okay, so as for the flower centers, you can do a number of things. Prills are always great. These teeny tiny little bead-like things. I have a whole bunch in different colors. You could use the flower stamens from different companies. This one is from Sizzix. You can find in your local craft store. I think I'm just going to use the bits from my shaker package for mine, and just a little bit of glue to get those to set. Okay, got a couple of those on there. Gonna add one more over here, I think. I just used a little tiny bead for the smaller flowers and a little piece of like a gem for that one. I got those leaves there. Just trying to decide where this last one should go. You know, you can always take some of these fun pieces from your shaker bits and put them right on the top, as well as just, you know, they don't have to be just inside. You can have a few on top. So I may do that at the end. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a second, but I think I am going to consider a couple of these little bits on the front. And if I were going to do that, I would just use a dot of like art glitter glue, something that dries clear. And rather than leaving blobs on there, I'm just going to tap it so it kind of puts a fine little coat on there. So I'll do a little bit more of that and then we'll come back. Okay, and this is how we finished out. I added some things on the top and my flowers are done. I added just a few more leaves. I felt like I needed that. Everything's still kind of drying on the front, but of course we've got our inside, as you know. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I hope you like it too. Hope you give that a try. Make some shaker cards. There are so many, and just a treasure trove of ideas everywhere you look on Pinterest and YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, if you wanted even more Valentine's inspiration, 2 years ago, even though it was 2 years ago, it's very current still. I did a video called DIY Valentine Inspiration Galore. So I'm going to link that below. There's a lot of great little gift boxes, little ideas for quick Valentine making. So I hope you can check that out. I thank you for being here today, and I will see you next week in the next video.